Everybody.
Morning,
Dave.
Call the meeting to order. We're gonna amend the agenda.
Got a frog too.
Yeah. We're up with one this morning. We need to amend it to approve the Class C liquor license with outdoor service and Sunday sales for Humboldt County Country Club.
Class C, is that what you said?
I would make a motion to amend the agenda to include that permit.
I will second.
Any discussion?
This seems to be a real frequent thing.
What's that?
Yep. Liquor license always come in late.
Yes, they said somehow it slipped their mind and they didn't discover it until Friday. He called me in a panic and said, our liquor license expires on the 20th. Well, you guys
I
missed the
agree.
meeting.
I've been sitting here for every year we're gonna do this.
More than once a year.
Yeah.
I agree.
But it's probably one of those things, like you say, it slips their mind.
Yeah, and I would, ask you to approve that pending dram shop insurance renewal when
Okay.
you do that, because they don't have their dram shop yet. So, the license can sit there for, 3-4 days waiting for dram shop. If I don't hear anything by Wednesday, I'll probably call them and say, you need to get this on here, otherwise I won't have time to get it to the state, and then they
Yeah.
issue the license to them so they can continue to operate.
It'd be so easy for these people to put a yearly reminder if it's every year. It's so easy to do it on your computer, on
Yeah.
your calendars.
And everybody gets so busy, they don't even
Yeah.
think of it, yeah.
That's this is for the country club, country club, you said, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a big part of their business.
Oh, yeah.
But the biggest thing is they aren't open in this
Winter.
Time of year.
part of the year. They aren't
Well, they
open through the
don't notice
winter
it.
and all of a sudden they just bang,
Open up.
they open and
Yeah.
And
But-
they just said they have somebody new doing this part of it,
Oh.
so. the person
It'd be
did-
preferable that they don't do last minute stuff.
Right.
It's like Rick
Yeah.
said, it seems like it's kinda habitual. And like Sandy said, you can put a reminder,
Yeah.
so.
Aye.
But, yeah, I agree with that.
Any other discussion on the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve the minutes, October 8th.
They look fine to me, I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. General public concern. They beating down the door? That's good. Ed, you're up. Spending more money.
morning.
Morning.
Yeah, spend a little more money. First item that I've got on the agenda is to approve the contracts and bonds for Midwest Contracting for the two projects that we had bid letting for here last month. They're, I guess they're a good reputable company from Minnesota. They usually sneak down and do a half dozen box culverts in Webster County and a couple in ours and Hamilton, and they'll probably be coming in about when the date start date is, which is September.
That's what it was, September is the
Okay.
late.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the contracts for Midwest with project LC 171109 and LC 393006 for the amount of $104,200 and $197,562.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
We had good bids.
I think we did, I think we had really good bids.
Yeah, they were very competitive.
And that one was, what,
$20 off,
something.
yeah, that's pretty close.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next two items that I've got are to approve applications to work in the county right away. I can't remember which is first, is it Prairie Energy?
Yes,
or-
sir.
The first is Prairie Energy, which is down on the county line at the southeast end. Be straight south of Thor, 1 mile in each direction of the pavement. This is basically
Is
respanning.
that that line they're going across there with?
Yeah, they, They made a mess of the road here about 2-3 weeks ago when they came in to try and do the 2 miles further east of that. I guess I talked to them last week and reassured them that if they did the same thing with this 2-mile stretch, they'd be paying for it instead of us.
Good.
Okay.
You should always remind them of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was one where basically we lost all of our roads, but their roads were really bad, where they were trying to set poles.
And it was bad
And
conditions.
it's probably not an
Yeah,
emergency
it
deal.
wasn't
where
an
peop-
emergency
Where
deal.
people are out of power and stuff.
Yes.
They're just,
They could've waited.
they could.
They could've
yeah.
waited.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, working right away from Mid-American.
Yep, the second application to work in the right-of-way is from Mid-American. This is also on the county line, but at the far north end. This is east out of Laverne for 1.5 miles to the Hardy Blacktop, P66. They are switching the poles from the north side in Cassuth County to the south side in Olive County.
Okay, I make a motion to approve for Mid-American.
Do a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Are they gonna put them out in the field?
I was just reading the, not
They
so
are...
much fine print.
No, they're set up to be in the outer 18 inches of our right-of-way, which is 45 feet on that stretch. Dave's been out there and taking shots with the GPS to make sure that they're not out in the field.
I just says they may set poles 4 feet off the back of the right of way.
Well, they were having trouble getting a right-of-way agreement from Hanselman.
Oh.
So if that was the case and they couldn't get an easement for their pole overhang, they were gonna set them 4 feet into our
Oh.
right-of-way to avoid having...
Okay.
So it says the county is more developed. Did that develop?
Yeah, the only one that they're waiting on right now is Vic Fisher's property. And last I knew, Vic wasn't in the greatest of health. So, but I sent him an email and got him on the phone on Friday and gave him Vic's home number to try and get hold of him.
So the easement is not that the pole's going on the ground, it's
It's the overhang,
The overhang.
which won't affect them. I mean, you think about it with the farming operations, that outside 4 feet,
Yeah.
you know, you might have a planer out there that's 3-4 feet tall, or,
Right.
you know.
implement, but yeah, not a real tall combine or whatever,
Okay.
never gonna get there. Hopefully they get that then,
Yeah,
so they maintain them right on the edge of the right of way then.
yeah, that's our hopes too. I mean, it's easier for
Yeah.
us.
Okay. All right.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That's all I had. Like I said, we did make it out to the drag strips, patch the locations where the seal coated busted loose from frost boils. Our guys are out working on Lone Tree right now, trying to backfill that location. We're working on FEMA things in the office, trying to get all of our locations down and figure out what we've actually got for costs, so we can start that ball rolling. Pouring concrete up by Eric's place on the second half of that patch, hopefully by the end of the day on Wednesday, we got that road open back up.
As long as they get that concrete poured today,
Yeah.
even if it's Thursday, but
Yeah.
just with the weather, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and we, you know, I think they're calling for a chance of rain on Thursday. You know, we can still open the road on Thursday, even if it is raining.
Are you going to, as the weather allows, which it is slowly but surely improving, dryness-wise,
Mhm.
really get after these damaged secondary roads?
Yeah, we're gonna try. I mean, right now, like I said, we're working on trying to open up the stretch of road that's closed on Lone Tree today. The other shops are hauling rock to their blade operators. All the blades should be out except for Humboldt's. are down here working on this project. Tomorrow we have our safety meeting, so everybody's gonna be off, and normally I would just cancel the safety meeting, but we've got so much lined up with hearing tests and fire extinguishers, I mean...
Got a lot of stuff on the safety meeting agenda.
Right.
But-
And it takes quite a bit of time to actually line all of that up, so...
Mhm.
But then, yeah, starting Wednesday, we'll be hitting it hard.
So is that like an all-day deal then, Ben, for you guys?
They do for us.
And they're having lunch, and the cattlemen are grilling, and we're supposed to be out there.
Yes, we're all welcome to come out for lunch and...
Kinda line that up, 'cause we had talked about it, found some funds to take care of the whatever expense, and so hopefully we can all show up for lunch about noon tomorrow.
Yep.
And the safety part of it, that's very important, they need to do that every year, so.
Right, multiple times a year we have safety meetings. This one will be 4 hours of general safety and then another 3.5 hours of flagger training and work zone safety. We've got enough new employees that haven't been certified in flagger training that, you know, it's easy to just update everybody that's got the certification as well as
Don't,
training.
yeah, hurt to get everybody
Yeah.
Well, this morning down and I know that it's not ours, but they're doing Highway 3, you know? So they got a flagger set by, Subway, and they're stopping traffic going east. Well, it's only a block, so traffic was clear to the intersection, and it's like,
Backing up.
I'm like, you gotta let them go through because they're clear through the intersection here, because
Yeah.
if you just keep holding them, we're all gonna sit here like this, and that kid just sat there, it's like, oh, for the love of God.
If you didn't understand.
You're either gonna move them through quicker, or stop them on the other side so that they can't, 'cause you have the intersection plugged, and everybody was like this. Well, you got school kids that are anxious to get going, and,
Oh, man.
you know, they got one more tardy, and they can be doing detention, so he's dodging through, it's like, oh my God. So, we all be patient.
Yep. So, they're doing their patching on Highway 3, and then, after that, 10 Point will be in to tear up that whole intersection, it sounds like, so.
I've seen all the
Are they gonna
flags.
redo the whole intersection?
Yeah.
They need
Flags
it.
and locates are all,
There was supposed to be additional turning lanes, but I think they pulled some of that out.
huh,
Oh. That'll be a mess.
Because they were running into utilities or what the issue was,
Oh.
but I heard that they pulled one of the turning lanes out.
That'll be really,
And then hopefully by the middle of this week, we'll start milling north of Hardy, so.
I was gonna ask, is that,
It's
are they gonna be
on
done with the power lines out that direction, or are they, so they aren't running in?
They shouldn't
They won't?
run into each other,
That's what I wondered.
they should be separate, so.
Okay,
But I know the surveyors were running a little bit slower because of the weather, they weren't getting as much done as anticipated, so
perfect.
the milling will be a couple days behind.
I seen him out there serving, is he checking the height of the road, is that what he is doing?
Yeah,
So
what
it's
they
in
do
grind?
is they go out and they shoot the center line and the edge lines, and they come up with a profile, and then we try and smooth out any of the bumps that we've got through there.
So is that computer, does that go into a computer, and then they know that thing tells the grinder as it's going along that raise, lower? Wow.
And then he comes out and he's got basically handheld, almost like our GPS, that he stands behind the mill and takes shots to make sure that he's milling at the elevation that the computer's telling him to.
Huh,
It's a lot more sophisticated than the days of just having
A string.
a ski right next to you or a string. Yeah, we did, our first paving was string line.
Wow.
That was every 25-foot, drive a pole and
Yeah, stretch it. along.
adjust the line up and down and eyeball it.
Wow.
Straight rivets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
well, good.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that's
thanks,
all I
Ben.
got.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Another 5 minutes, we move down to country club liquor license.
Here's a copy for each of you, so you can see what it looks like.
Everything's in order.
And you said other than the Graham insurance?
Yep.
I would, if everything looks in order, I would make a motion to accept on the stipulation that their dram shop insurance is taken care of.
I second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
I didn't even know he was still
Have you signed?
involved in
Here, it
that.
doesn't
Oh, those are
specify
just
when-
board members.
Yeah, board.
Because it's the dram shop.
Denny Robinson sold his house to John,
You did?
what's his name from the bank?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, John,
Yeah. I'm brain
used to be
dead
the
too.
president.
Yeah, yeah. It'll come to me.
Yeah, tonight when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and say it, and somebody will, what are you talking about?
You do that too.
Hartford.
Hartford.
Hartford,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Move back to
See, look at Dave.
He's smiling, he's thinking, you guys, I'm over and I can remember better than you guys can.
Okay. Need to approve resolution 2019-9, establishing fee for the building permits.
I got one question here.
Mhm.
Okay, now, on ag buildings, there's no fee, but if they don't get the building permit, do we give them $100 penalty?
That's livestock building, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would think so.
I would think that's okay,
fair.
'cause if they're supposed to get the permit.
Permit.
It's free, but if they don't get it, we can assess them a penalty.
I think you're
I
right.
would agree with that.
Okay, I'm just going through that, that's the way I read it, and I thought that's the right way it should be.
Mhm.
But, you know, we're not supposed to charge them a fee for their building permits, so it's,
Right.
but we're just giving them a penalty for not getting
Right.
it, so.
No, I think that's hopefully maybe that'll be a little incentive to get these
Yeah.
permits in.
Kent, here's a copy for you.
Yeah, any other discussion on this?
Well, just remember that from an out-in-the-country machine shed built type building was 0.
Mhm.
Now, if we go with this, it's 100.
Mhm.
That's right.
And there is gonna be some fracas about that, I'm sure.
$100 a drop in the bucket for a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 shed.
Or $100,000. I agree, but just, wanted to mention that.
Well, we also have a person that we've hired in order to make sure all of these things are taken care of,
We got paid
that
for 'em.
we don't even cover our own costs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So somehow, you know,
basically, the rest of the county is subsidizing people.
Right, we need to break even.
Yeah, at least cover your costs.
Well, I know, I'm not disagreeing, I'm
But
just,
but
I'm
it's
stating
a
it,
shock from 0 to 100.
I'm saying it's from 0 to anything,
Yeah.
is, you
It's gonna
know.
be a shock.
Where-
You might wanna check that with Linda Paulson when she comes in with the, Every Farm tax credit, the definition of ag. Because if it's an ag building, there's no permit fee. And I'm
Right.
not sure what all
Mhm.
Well, if it's a
is
livestock,
considered ag.
livestock building.
Okay, so if you wanna put a different wording in there, you might wanna...
No.
No, I think it's actually
I think
correct,
it's worded like-
because it says the
He
building,
just stating the fact we're going from 0
I
to
just-
something, it might be a sticker shock for people.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
And granted, the building that they're building, if it's any size, is multi-thousand-dollar building.
Yeah.
The $100 fee is nothing, I mean, but still.
by the same token, for someone that doesn't do any permit, then are they gonna fine them the $100 for
Yes.
nothing? Because she said they've had several places, they pull in and this machine shed just showed up. Well, we didn't know that you were building it, so would that constitute a $100 fine then?
It would.
Yep.
Because they didn't get a permit.
That's what I'm asking, I guess,
Right there
so,
at the bottom, the penalty for failure to obtain a building permit is $100 in addition to any cost of the building permit.
I don't think anybody's snooping, I think all they're doing is trying to make everything work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of getting the permit on file.
Yep.
which is what we've been after
And it's, a
forever.
lot of it is to protect the landowner, so keep their setbacks, 'cause people don't realize there is actually setbacks out in the
Yeah.
rural community.
And there's some things involving septic systems and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And they just don't want them to get in trouble with that.
No, I guess they'll call and scold us and...
Yeah, we'll get our butts chewed a few times.
We just gotta have them realize it's a cost, we have a cost to have somebody come out and do the zoning part of it and all that, so we might as well just...
And then comparatively,
pay back for it.
when we looked at other examples from surrounding counties, this is very minimal. There's other counties, as we saw, their structures
Yeah.
and footage, square footages and so on and so forth, got way more expensive than this. This is just a token amount
Right.
compared to some of the other.
Correct.
Do we need a motion on that then?
Yep.
I would make a motion
I'll second.
on the resolution 2019-9, establishing the building fee permit, building permits.
Nope, not on resolution.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Have we signed that one?
Authorize chairman to sign documents for Humboldt County employee health insurance renewal.
Cindy Allen was here last week and provided you with, options for the renewal. So now this is the documentation that needs to be signed. There are 3 different documents that need signed in order to move this forward. First one looks just like the quote that was given to you last week. The second one is our governmental health care plan through Walmart. And then the third one is a confirmation of MSP addendum. So these are standard documents that they send to us every year on renewal.
So were we gonna go with the, was it the 4%, is that the one? with-
Yes, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the document for Humboldt County Health Employment Insurance renewal.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
So with using that 4%, Peggy, that'll take some of the reserve that you thought we should,
Yeah,
Yep.
our self-funding will,
Plus you'll still have
Right.
some in there to...
right, but it'll at least pull some of that up, number
It'll
that...
pull some of it down, yeah.
yeah, and that's adjusted every year, up and
Yeah.
down.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if we see it's getting lower, we can,
We can
Pull it back.
move it back.
yeah.
Perfect.
We just don't wanna sit on too much of the money.
Right.
Bless you. And that money is helping to offset the premium side, correct? That's coming out of the self-funding
Yep.
part.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And down here at the bottom. So it comes out, it's right there.
Week 7, it's still not getting over it.
Terrible.
Oh, I know it.
There will be some EBS documents that'll still come to you, to take care of the EBS side, but this gets the ball rolling, I guess, you'd say.
That stuff that has to be, is mailed to us, or that we do through Chris?
You mean these renewal documents?
Yeah.
I'll just scan them and send them back to her, and then she'll
Okay.
have signatures on file. So we do very little through mail anymore with them, everything's through
I think he was in the
email.
office.
Oh, he's in there?
So,
They're in there.
Oh, yeah, he's there.
I saw him walk by.
I thought he did too, that's why I thought,
Yeah, I should have said something, he walked by.
I think Dan is here,
He's here, yeah.
so. Should I let him know we're ready for him?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
We're ready for you, Dan. You got, what you doing there?
Hey,
Morning,
Dan.
Dan.
How are you guys?
today?
Good, good.
Weather's looking better?
Yeah, you get sunshine, it's always a nice day when the sun is shining.
Anybody want to
I'll take one. You can burn it.
Well, I spent the last probably 10 or 15 minutes trying to get my computer up and going, I'm not having any luck, so this might be a little bit shorter than I was hoping.
Okay.
But, came in to talk about, drone flyovers, sounds like.
Yep.
So, that's a service that we offer, and we offer all kinds of different levels of service as far as that goes. But it sounds like you guys are particularly interested in something just to document some FEMA, damages.
Yeah.
Damages for FEMA funding. So that's something that we can do very simply. We have, our drone operators are out of Des Moines, but you know, typically in any business that you're in, you look for somebody that really enjoys what they do. And our guy that does it, he takes our drone out on the weekends just for kicks and giggles to film all kinds of things. Particularly, he likes filming old barns and things like that. So, yeah, he's fantastic at what he does. And he's also very good on GIS. It sounds like you guys were looking for the ability to couple drone photography with a map just to be able to document where different things are at.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So that's something that we're very capable of. Like I said, I was trying to pull up the deal that we had. It was just an online link that was for the city of West Des Moines that we went through, and we were looking at, I believe it was at the Skunk River, just to look for damages, places that they needed riprap for. It was kind of a different type of survey, but along a similar line. But anyways, he felt comfortable that we could easily do that for $200 a mile, or we could even go for like a time and materials not to exceed $200 a mile. That's something that we could handle as well. But we can tie that into a map very easily for you guys. What kind of analysis were you looking for to fully close the FEMA funding?
Well, mainly, we had a lot of the banks sloughing off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the weight of the snow, it just kind of slid the banks down.
Sure.
And also, any kind of erosion issues were run over the banks, you know.
Okay.
We got places like that where the high water went over the bank and washed the banks out, washed out bulkheads, things like that.
So this is kind of an initial thing where you come back and measure with GPS, or you're looking for something to get the measurements as it's going by?
We're basically trying to find
Located.
Where it is.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, 'cause it's, well, unfortunately, I was, like yesterday, I went and looked at something, I had to walk a half a mile, just, mainly I needed the exercise, but it was way too muddy to be out there already still.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, drone flight's so much faster, and you can, what we're looking for is, you know, fly over, spot some sloughing, you know, pinpoint it, so we have a location, section number,
Sure.
wherever, longitude, latitude, or whatever you use.
Yeah.
And then also, we have the documentation for any future issues, so we have a, you know, a video of what the ditch looked like,
Absolutely.
which, it's a good record, you know.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I was kind of thinking about last year with the drought that we had in the middle of summer, that might have been a good time
That
to do
should've,
something like
yeah.
that, but, yeah,
Mhm.
it's all in the past now.
Yeah, would've, should've.
Well, there's two things on that prior, you know, like last summer, it would give you, this is what it looked like last year. But then you would, that would've been fine, you'd had it as the baseline, but then you'd still be doing them now.
Okay, you'd have to do it a
find
second
that,
time.
like you described, the damage
Then you
area.
can show that this is what it used to look like, now
Right.
this is what it looks like.
And we need
So-
to get the FEMA dollars for it.
But you can tell when, on these banks, if it's a recent slough off, because there's no vegetation growing back.
Yeah.
You know, if it was from a year or two earlier, you can see.
Right.
That's
So
pretty-
it's pretty obvious whether it's fresh or not. So I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah.
So, my question, Trish said that this, the guy that, the FEMA person, that he still has to go out there once we locate something and verify it with,
Yeah, he has to, Phil Jacobs will have to go out and physically locate it and do the GPS that way. And then he'll probably have to go out again and meet with the FEMA representative to identify it. And then that's where they determine the size and scope of it, the damage.
So our time frame is, the meetings was or is coming up, and it was last week, so then the time frame is...
60 days, isn't it?
Mhm.
So it's gonna be kind of a
To
pressing...
identify damages, which I've already signed in to Grant's portal and said that, you know, we have damages, so they are aware, but we haven't identified each one of them yet,
Yeah.
so.
So we have 60 days to identify each individual issue?
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's our question to you, how soon can you
Yeah.
get on this?
Pretty quick. Now, our guy that normally does that, he's out of the country this week, but he'd be able to get on that pretty quickly afterwards. And we've got a few other guys that also do drone fly hours, that shouldn't be an issue. How many miles are you guys looking to do? Any idea on that?
We got lots of miles.
Lots of miles.
Well, we've already designated
4.
4 that we're either in the process or we're gonna get taken care of.
Yeah, these are ditches that we had cleaned last year,
Okay.
so we know they're more susceptible.
Yep.
And so we had those already set up, and I think we'd have another one, was it 11 that we've done a lot of work on, Trish?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have.
and that's a pretty lengthy ditch also.
Okay.
And,
Some of the thicker blue lines.
yeah, you can see all the thick blue lines, so you can see there's lots of miles of ditch. But as to, some of them aren't near as bad. It's mainly the ones we've recently done work on, is where it showed up the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mike, I have another question. Are these guys gonna be coming from Des Moines?
Yep. You know, if you guys are looking to do it all, from what I understand, it takes a few days to, basically to do proper training to get your FAA license to fly a drone.
Uh-huh.
So if you're looking at a number of weeks, that's something that either myself or one of the other guys in Fort Dodge would just go ahead and take the time to go through and get that ourselves to save on drive time. Yeah.
But the guy that does this is gonna be back. He's extremely well
Yep,
trained
yeah.
and
Very well.
knowledgeable about this. And I had to ask the question, and you never know, but would we say 10 to 15 miles a day if you,
Oh, I would think they could easily do that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
So,
it depends how much wind.
Yeah.
I mean, those
Yeah, if
things
it's real
don't have
windy,
a...
if it's real windy, it doesn't work well. You can't-
And the
you can't-
batteries only last so long, so you have,
Well, how much wind, how close you want us to get. So if we're getting down below the tree line, then we really kinda need to be walking close beside it, but if it's up a little bit higher, then we can drive on a road as long as we have it in eye shot. That's no big deal, so then we can do, I had some very brief, email discussion with the guy that's out of the country, and he said 15 to 20 miles as a best case scenario.
Mhm.
Another guy was saying the guy out of the country said 15 to 20 miles an hour. Another one of our guys was thinking more of a high-techy thing he's used to doing. He said 12 miles a day. So there's range in there, but, either way, we'd be able to hit that pretty, within your 60-day window. But you're probably thinking more of a 30-day window to make
Yeah,
sure you
right.
have plenty of time.
Right. 'Cause
So
then-
how many other people are you doing this for? I mean,
Right.
that, are we gonna be on the back burner or the top burner, or?
We really aren't doing a whole lot of drone flyovers right now at all, so you guys would be pretty well towards the front.
Okay.
well, what we need to do too is what we've already done, is pick and choose. It may not be every last mile.
No, I don't think we have to do every mile.
And it may be some that are, because if someone could ever get in the field,
Mhm.
and...
Because I walked a half mile of ditch last night, and there wasn't any issue.
No. And so some of these, thankfully, not all of them are gonna have
No.
damage. And if someone could locate them, you know, the farmers out there, that's just as good. You know, they say this, and get an exact location noted to Trish for Phil to go out and look at. We're just trying to get a bigger area done quicker with drone flights. So that, because, well, the worst thing that right now is nobody's able to get out there. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
too wet. Yeah.
well, if we're doing 200, if it's $200 a mile, and you do 12 to 15 miles a day, that's,
$3 grand.
Yeah, it's $3,000, but I guess what I'm saying is you aren't gonna fly it at 10 mile an hour, and then all of a sudden if you see something, it still has to be located so that it can be passed to her, which will then go to Phil, which then comes back to, he has to go back out to Chase to make sure that, you know, so some of it, I just have a hard time believing you're gonna get 12 to 15 miles
No,
a day done, but...
I think they can.
You'll get the flight done.
They'll get the flight done, yeah, I think so. Well, I tell you what, Dan, we'll have to take your proposal under consideration
Okay.
and discuss which ditches we need done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your price is competitive, and your time frame sounds like it'll be fine.
Mhm.
So is that a flat fee from, I guess I'm more interested in is, do we pay mileage from them guys coming are they driving from Des Moines every day? If they did it for a week straight, is that part of the 200, or what's?
That's what we factor into the 200.
So we wouldn't have to have paid mileage or hotel bills or anything like that?
No. I mean, we would factor that in, like I said, we can do it not to exceed in terms of mileage, overall miles for ditch. Work
Okay.
that out.
All right.
I missed that part. Is it 200 per mile then?
Yeah.
Okay. And that includes any engineering fees or anything like that, right?
Yeah, you know, if we, need to get a real detailed analysis, we'll probably add on to that. But for just a basic location,
Yeah, just to give us a GPS location of it.
Mhm.
So with your documentation of it, you would charge more for that than any documentation that you're gonna do of the bad areas that,
Something more detailed than, here's a slough off and,
what would that charge be
location of
then?
that. That we would simply go to our standard engineering fees, so, my fee is $140 an hour, and I think our GIS guys are about the same, $140 an hour. We would have, if you guys need a survey crew out there, that would be $200 an hour.
Your
Do you
additional
have
fees.
all them numbers? That, some type of sheet, I mean, so that would,
Yes, I do, I don't have it with me, but I can email that to you pretty easily.
That's basically if you have to...
If they have to go out and
Start
do
going
some work.
out there and doing something,
Yeah, basically.
But what we're looking for is...
Just
the-
locations.
Yes.
For our.
And that's what we're doing with these other flights. We need to get out, you know, really decide, and maybe, I'm sure Trish has got some good ideas on, designate the order, and which ones are the, like you said, the newer,
Mhm.
or, clean out ones and things like that. The ones, we've already got some that are gonna get done. We need to get a
Yeah.
list to the others. We're gonna have to take a hard look at that here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I can't think of anything.
Thank you.
I think we got...
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. If you guys need to, one thing that our drone guy had mentioned to me is, you know, we've got a drone that'll do, LiDAR flights, so that's everything perfectly measured out. That takes some time because we have to go and set up, GPS control points. But another thing that we can do is we can use our video drone, much simpler technology, and we can set up different targets along a ditch. So we can go and measure with the video drone, but we can measure slough off, you know, to within an inch or so, how long of a section it is or how deep. Again, that's additional time on our
Yeah.
part to go get that all set up.
That's if we
That's
find
something
something that we
capable.
think needs to be repaired for cost-wise to present to FEMA and things like that.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Dan, what is your actual title?
I'm a licensed
Are you-
engineer.
You are an engineer, right? Well, that's what I was... I guess I'm trying to compare it with Rick. Rick comes in as an engineer that we take recommendations to, because I don't know any of the rules and guidelines as to how and what, so I just wanted to make sure if your quality or your title as an engineer, then I guess I don't have any issues with that.
Yeah.
Have
I
you done
appreciate you asking.
Have you done your PE test yet?
Yep,
And you passed it and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
yep. I've been, engineer for just about a year now, or licensed engineer.
Professional?
Mhm.
Okay, professional engineering test, okay.
Good.
All right.
All right. Well,
Any other
thank you.
Thank you,
questions, Al?
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dan.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Yeah.
Be a good one.
It's nice out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not snowing.
Okay, Linda.
Oh, I think I overdid it this weekend. I'll just let you have that. You might, maybe you already have that, I don't know. I'm just bringing to you, applications, new applications for 2018 family farm and, cancellations.
The up, down, same, similar?
This is the only new one we got, so, not a whole lot. Although there's more than one parcel on each page.
Oh, these are all different ones right here?
Mhm.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there's one bunch there that he didn't really put his name on the top, it's, Frank Gibbert's,
Oh.
but he's got several new ones.
Excuse me.
And then these are cancellation recommendations, and it, gives you the owner, the acres, and the reason.
Any of them controversial?
No, just the...
Standard,
Yep.
standard procedure?
Change of name, ownership, yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, Isabel, yeah, she passed away.
yeah. Oh, and somewhere in there, did I get?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a homestead.
Yeah,
Was that with these maybe?
No, it's, maybe it's on the bottom of those. Or maybe I took it out and,
What are we looking for?
a homestead cancellation.
I didn't see that. These are all tax credits.
Let me go back and, it's right, it's sitting on the counter. Just a second.
I had to try to remember, we switched the meeting from last week. The ministers switched our, being it's Holy Week, they thought they'd be busy this week.
Yeah.
Looks like she found it.
This is a homestead cancellation, this person signed in another county, I believe. And then they just sign that top sheet and that they're not claiming homestead on that piece of property anymore. And I think it's been sold on contract too, so. And I think that's
Okay.
about it for me, sure, for...
Well, there's nothing unusual in there, or out of the
No.
ordinary, I'll make a motion to, sign the,
Cancel the,
cancel, approve and cancel family farm tax credits, and cancel homestead,
As presented.
as presented.
I would second that.
any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
And I think you sent a letter to them, don't you? Or do you?
Not on,
Not on
the
the-
homestead, I think I did.
Yeah, okay. Yep, so, you know, she's back.
Were we going to ask her about that building fee? The name? Are you gonna ask her about, are we wanting to ask her about that?
Our building permit thing that was just approved, ag buildings, or livestock buildings are zero, okay, by the state. But if they don't get a penalty, if they don't get the permit, can we assess them a penalty? It's written in that way in our resolution.
Of
I don't,
quarter?
I don't know why you could not. So,
Yeah,
it might get contested maybe, I don't know.
well, if it does, it does. You know, see what happens and,
I mean, 'cause they're supposed to have a permit, if they
Mhm.
don't get it, if there's no penalty, what's the sense in them even asking? So,
And I think there might have been some language a while ago on if there was a lot of paperwork involved, that you could assess them for that,
yeah,
but.
you could charge them for their
Yeah.
printing
Some
and
type of
copying
fee.
Mhm.
and the time it takes for people to go through it.
Yes,
Mhm.
so, and this is in, a new resolution, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
trying to make your job easier.
Well, it does.
Well, it saves people having to drive out and
Yeah.
check.
We had one for sure that did not get any information to us, so we had to send it out just based on an estimate.
Mhm.
And then we got the information, so, it would be, it is nice. It really does help make our life easier.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'd go for it.
Well, that's official then.
Yeah, we got it.
We took the plunge, I guess. Peggy says, you might wanna check with Linda on that, so.
Well, I know there's wording that you cannot zone ag.
Mhm.
So, if they're in an agricultural district, you can't put any limitations on what they do, I guess.
Right.
So, but, I don't see any problem with this myself either, so.
I mean, even if they're building by a septic tank or something like that, there's no, or high lines or stuff like that, there's no zoning that we can say you can't do that, or?
Yes.
Agricultural?
Yes. Oh, yeah, you can't,
You
that's,
guys
I was
are so far
gonna-
back to power line.
Well, that's
oh,
what I
yeah,
was...
no, yeah, no, there was, that's,
Okay, then I misunderstood what she meant about you can't tell them what,
Well, on the zoning part, if it's agricultural and they're building an agricultural building,
Yeah, you can't tell them they can't do it,
right,
basically.
okay, they just have to follow the
Rules.
the guidelines
still
or
with
whatever. They can
guidelines,
still
yeah.
do it.
And that's
if
the idea of getting the building
Okay,
permit,
that's what I-
so we
okay.
know that, so they do follow the guidelines.
Okay,
so
that's what I was
it's safe.
misunderstanding, I wanted to make sure I
Mhm.
understood that.
You put a bin up way, and it's close to power lines, you got the
Set back so
utility
far.
board that you gotta follow their rules too.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause you don't want
Setback.
anybody.
Okay, 'cause I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
The, town of Hardy, the elevator there is putting up a 120-foot dry storage, fertilizer bin. And
To the
it's all
west?
it's all in city limits.
On the west side,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't.
From, I guess I haven't been through Hardy for a while, I don't
Oh,
know.
they've added,
They've put a couple of bins over
Yeah,
there.
put a
Yep.
big bin up.
mhm.
And I know we got some tile issues going on because of that drain, or
Yeah,
that
they
thing's
cut
going up.
through the tile or busted the tile.
Busted it up
around it.
and stuff, so that, yeah.
Yeah.
But Randy called us on it and called me on it, and I told him it's all in the city limits. We got a little bit of county there, but
Mhm.
they're not building on the county portion of it, so it's all Hardee's. So I'm turning everything over to them.
I think we picked up quite a bit there this year with them, so thank goodness for the elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
they are growing.
yes,
yeah,
they are,
that's a good thing.
yep.
Perfect.
Anything else?
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Linda.
Thank you.
do you want your information back here?
See, do you have this all already, right?
I have copies, yes.
Okay, so you don't need any of this?
I can't remember what comes. I think some of the originals come to me.
I'll just
If the
take
board
it
has
back
to
and
okay,
we'll,
but yeah,
we'll figure them out.
that's right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're all the way down to committee reports.
Well, I had no official extracurricular meetings last week. Went out and looked at a few things, just the poor condition of the roads, and couple driveway and tile concerns, but no official extracurricular meetings.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to mail mine. My
Gonna wait
she
till
said it's
11.
tax day.
I just, it
said,
just
yeah.
dawned on me, it's tax day when I
Oh, gosh.
clicked on my,
Yeah,
calendar.
it's tax day, all right.
Well, I had an IDDA meeting, this last week on Wednesday morning. We're rotating counties now, rather than always having it Pokie, so we went up to Clay County. Had a good meeting there. They, I was telling you guys earlier, where CCI is suing the state of Iowa for clean water issues. They're filing suit against Mike Nagg and the state. So, could be more litigation coming our way. They blaming Ag for all the issues with water quality, so.
Was any of that discussed at that meeting from the Drainage District Association standpoint with the, you know, getting after them for dirty water? Was that even brought up, or was that just information you got after the meeting?
We discuss it a little bit. I mean, they're always, you know, talking. We had a guy come in and talk about, bioreactors or buffer strips.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about where you, shut your tile drains off
Mm-hmm.
through the winter months,
Mm-hmm.
and then shut them off in the summer months, when, after your crop is up and growing, then you put basically a valve in your tile lines that you can shut off with your cell phone
Oh, wow.
to keep the water in the ground. He says things like that are ways to reduce nitrates. Of course, you know, in the old days, if you had clay tile or cement tile and they were full of water, in the wintertime, they'd freeze and break.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the new plastic, you don't have quite so much issue with that, but they say they're doing a lot of research and studies on that, and they say it's a way of reducing your nitrate loss, so.
Yeah, and I've been to those meetings, I've been to a lot of meetings. It's called the 4R nutrient reduction strategy, and the edge of the field reactors, the saturated buffers, the
Yeah.
wetlands, so on and so forth.
And-
So they're doing a lot of good work with
And that's what I say, it's better to spend your money on that type of stuff rather than litigation.
it, by all means.
And the ag community is working in that direction. They're trying to always reduce their
They are.
nitrate and runoff.
Yes.
And it's too bad you have to waste millions of dollars in litigation.
Yeah.
So-
The only people that win are the lawyers.
And they talked also about the WATRS, which is the Clean Water Act out in D.C., where Trump reversed Obama's opinion, but they still want to change the language a little bit to define, it said ditch. It doesn't say drainage ditch, it just says ditch in it. And they want it to say ag drainage ditch for the, you know, for the purpose of draining ag land, get that exempt. So they're pushing for that language, and that
That would be
to
key.
be changed.
That would be key.
So it isn't so gray, but, things like that. So I think it's that meeting.
Okay. The only thing I had was I switched the ministerial meeting from this week to last week. So we had our ministerial meeting and I left the numbers out there. I think the like 72 for, 72, families for the food pantry, like 181 individuals for last month. We asked if they were seeing any increase in numbers, 'cause they had changed the Thursday day, to the late afternoon as opposed to both of them in the morning, and they think that they are picking up some extra people. So, what she said that, I'm trying to remember what, I thought I wrote that down, was the truck will be coming, I'll have to find that, it's probably on that other sheet, but other than that, things are pretty good with them.
What day was that, Bruce?
That was Wednesday.
Wednesday?
I was sitting down at the elevator and she goes, "Are you coming?" "Well, that isn't till next week." "No, well, they changed it." "I'll be there."
I had no official meeting.
Okay, Tuesday I went up to the EMS meeting up in Algona on this flood stuff. The gal that we had last time, that, was assigned to us, that knew everything, she was real top the notch, right on everything with it. She knows her stuff. That's the same one we get this time.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good.
So, and, they talked a little bit about it. Dave said that he would be in contact with us and he would help us get all the forms filled out, everything we needed, he would take care of. Dan and Sue and Trish was also at that same meeting,
That was in Algona, right?
yeah.
Was there
That was a
any,
good meeting, that guy, he put on a good program.
was it just us in Cassuth County there, or was there other people?
Oh, no,
That was a more regional meeting,
there was a lot of people,
okay.
yeah. And that's the only official one. Friday I stopped inside that paper, that letter going out on this Idell's or whatever it is.
Oh,
Did they get your
Yeah.
automatic signature deal figured out yet?
Oh, yeah.
With the
Yes.
state?
Good.
So you're-
I got confirmation on that everything went through.
Everything's good?
We don't have to mess with that for a while.
Good.
That's all I have.
Peggy, you got any updates on our website that we,
Yep, I have some things I wanna show you after we're
Perfect.
done.
Oh, good.
So,
awesome.
mhm.
Excellent.
Okay, you got anything else for us, Peggy?
No, just got a note from ISAC, Robin Harlow is retiring, I don't know how many of you know Robin. He's a excellent help, he does a lot of the computer work around there, but here's his retirement announcement, if any of you wanna attend. And I think that's all I got.
Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Yes, I do. Won't mention any names, but this was brought up to my attention, about, handicapped accessibility in the women's bathroom. And I know nothing of it.
Second floor.
Yep,
Second floor,
that's the
Second floor
designated
bathroom is
handicap bathroom.
handicap.
We talked
and
about
is
that months ago,
it,
wasn't it?
there again, I
haven't been in the one.
I pride myself on never been in the women's bathroom either.
I can check it out.
Is there women's restroom on this floor?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it is not the designated
The
handicap.
second floor,
Mhm.
Mhm.
okay?
The
And-
reason being, we have looked into making this one handicap accessible, and if we did anything to that bathroom at all, it would have to totally be gutted and
Yes.
started over
Mhm.
with handicapped rules. So,
Okay.
the handicapped one was already upstairs.
And it is,
Designated
it
as
is a
the-
handicapped accessible.
Dan, do we have a
Second floor.
sign by this one down here that the handicap one is upstairs?
No.
No.
We should maybe put
Could
a
we
sign,
do
maybe-
that?
maybe put a sign next to it, a little
Okay.
placard or something, say
Okay.
handicap accessible on the second floor or something.
Yeah. Take the elevator.
That
Take
probably
the
was
elevator.
some of the confusion. I know nothing about women's bathrooms or handicapped accessibility bathrooms, so I wanted to bring that up.
I think the men's is on the second floor too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as far as, and I don't think I've ever been in this elevator in my life, but they have the ability to get in the elevator to get to the second
Yep.
floor.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, from the basement.
Yeah.
This does happen
They
to
wouldn't
be.
have to take any steps at all. They could come
Right.
straight into the basement from the ramp.
There's-
Okay.
There's
Get on the
ramp that
elevator
end of
and-
the building,
Mhm.
Okay,
down in the door, another ramp. Go right over to the
Right by the-
elevator.
Magistrate courts.
this happens to be a woman that is in a wheelchair
Yeah.
most of the time,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
so
My
that,
uncle has used
Okay.
that. He's gone,
well, I just,
when he had to come up here, it worked really well.
So, yeah, I agree with Rick, put,
Yeah, we probably should have a sign by it, 'cause
yes,
they come and see that.
because if someone's on, here at your
They can't.
office, then they need to know that, go up one floor in the elevator to get to the
I'll see what
hand.
Dave can get over there.
Yeah.
I think that would have probably saved this
Yeah.
confusion.
Yeah,
but-
whether it's a plaque or even just a
Some
laminated,
laminated.
piece of
Yeah.
paper we could stick on the door or something, it'd be
Okay.
a lot cheaper than a plaque.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, because
I was
I'm
gonna say laminated, yeah. definitely.
guessing they were on this floor and did not.
If we ever had to
Permanent, so
change
it's
it, then
probably
it wouldn't be
sooner
that
or
hard to
later.
change, you know, if we had to, Just some
I-
instructions on how to get there.
Yeah, and in the past, we've just, you know, if anybody asks us, we tell them where it's at,
Yeah.
maybe she didn't
No,
ask.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
wanna bother people.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
That would go a long ways, just a
Mhm.
notification.
Mhm.
And the men's is the same, second floor?
Mhm. Do the same sign on the men's then too.
Okay, yeah.
Of course,
I have
neither-
one, oh, go
Is there a
ahead.
men's
No,
on this
there's-
row? It's
no.
only on the bottom,
That-
right there?
that There and then the second floor.
Second.
Right, and so then there'd be no steps I mean, there's
Yeah,
steps to
there's
that
steps
one
to
anyways,
that
they
one, so
could,
Get
yeah.
there to ask, to wonder.
yeah.
Okay, well, that clears that up, and I think the notification on each, where the facilities are located would be a good thing to have, so they know they go up one floor.
we can do that.
So- Something I will mention, I thought this is interesting. When we went to, this is kinda I do like about rotating our meetings through different counties. We went to the courthouse, which we found out was actually their law office. They're just a court building. You got a new administrative office, well, not new, it was built in the eighties, but when you walked in the door, they had probably 3x3 glass-covered case, and in that, they had a map showing all the projects they were doing that year.
In Clay County,
In Clay
because that's
County.
where you had your
Yeah,
meeting.
that is other kinda interesting.
I think it is.
Kinda like the 5-year plan, but.
Kinda like the 5-year
Yeah.
plan, but this is what's being done this
This
year.
year.
You know, they had the
Mhm.
highlighted
Yeah.
roads that were being paved, bridges that were gonna be worked on.
Mhm.
I just thought it was.
Neat idea.
That is.
That
I
is
like
kinda
that.
nice.
We could do something like that on our website maybe,
Yeah.
too.
Well, yeah, at least on the website. We maybe don't have to build a plexiglass case, but.
No, I mean,
But the website would be a great place
You
for
know,
that.
I looked at that, I thought, well, then people know.
But, how many people go on the website? You
Well,
have
you
the
know,
other ones that
they
would
hear
come in the courthouse and
LC
have something.
17109, what the
Yeah,
heck
what's
is
that?
that?
They don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
all of us know.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because
I
I
would-
know.
on the
I-
paper last week, so, people to read the paper, you want to...
Yeah.
Yep, you're trying to help our
Good job, Ken, good job.
I had one person call me on the blinking lights down at Hy-Vee, which I told them that's a state issue. But I did call
Yeah.
Travis because I've had several people ask,
Mhm.
and Travis said the reason that the lights are blinking is the sensors on the north and the south side of the street where you pull up and it trips they're both not working properly, and in order to make them work properly, they have to tear the street out. So their
Oh, my
version of
gosh.
blinking lights still slows the traffic down so that you can make a safe passage through there, which,
And some people come on Highway 3 and stop at the yellow. and
right,
then there's
and that's
three or four
causing,
people.
especially with them barrels out there,
It's really confusing.
it's making people, and that's what I told the lady that I talked to, I said, just, when you see someone that keeps tapping their brakes, just stay back, because
Yeah.
they're stopping, and so, but we don't, that isn't nothing to do with the county, but it is
Mhm.
the cities, and that's what Travis said, they would have to fix both sides of the road, and they don't, at this time, wanna tear them up, so, unfortunately,
And up there, up.
yeah, we have enough roads that are in that issue, so I was gonna share that.
Good deal. Well, not a good deal for the city, but.
My
good to know.
question is that with, okay, we have the 2 drone presentations, so if we need to get this done to get our FEMA, when do we make a decision on that, or how do we decide on that?
We should
From
probably
you?
think about this week, maybe do a little driving around, see if there's issues. I've looked at some of the ditches out in my area, just, stopping my road, I happened to look when I was checking out those pipes for the driveways. And you look down the ditch, you can see sloughing if there is any, and
I've been trying to look when I'm in the semi, and 'cause I can see higher and down the ditch further.
Right.
But that would be a nice place to have that four-wheel drive little thing that I
Oh,
wanna
gator.
buy. My wife just isn't really buying on that.
It's a gator thing, you mean?
Yeah, one of them things that I could play with and say,
it's an
but,
expense.
yeah.
Well, we have
That's your supervisor mobile.
Yeah. Well,
the ones that are going to be flown, and you'd mentioned what? You mentioned like sub 511 or the whole DD 11?
11 has had a lot of work done on it.
It has, and there's a couple that are on a work order to get repaired in there. So, I mean, what we need to come up with, and I would say by next week, is to give McClure's at least a starting point.
But are we definitely deciding to go with McClure's? I mean, do we need to decide?
James Westergaard's already got a pretty good
Yeah,
chunk
he's
of
got
He's got 3 or 4 miles,
4, 18.
3 or 4 different ones.
and I
Okay.
think 6, because he's already flying 6 for a cleanout. They're looking at 6 for doing some
Okay.
cleanout.
Yes.
Well, can we just
And
put it
really,
on and bring Trish in here and afterwards, and we can kind of...
She has yeah, it's a good idea, it's
And then next week,
idea
put
that
it
this
in
is
as
like,
a general...
Rick's thought was that the recently cleaned ones, because I don't think that it needs to be every last one.
No, I don't think so.
The other thing that goes along with this FEMA business and the slough-offs and the damage is, I mentioned, farmers getting out in the field, we put a notice in actually last fall with FEMA, fixing, and whether it's FEMA or not, you need to get it noted. Hopefully, a lot of that stuff will just get turned in this spring, like
Yeah.
whether you walked out and saw it, the farms next to it saw it, but we're doing the drone flight just because we don't wanna miss something in our
Right.
window of FEMA money.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, even if it's a 10-mile ditch, that's $2,000 to fly 10 miles.
If there's one repair,
There's one repair in there, that's gonna cover it.
yes, and we'll pay that district back
Yeah.
for their expense.
But the simple fact that most farmers that are gonna get in there and go around, they all go around the perimeter of the field to say, oh, we don't, it's too wet over in that corner, but if you let them know, or if they know that, keep my eye on that ditch, and if there's any sloughing, to get a hold of Trish or whoever,
Bingo.
they got bigger, that has better eyes than what, 'cause they know what that ditch is looking like.
Exactly.
What it looked like last fall when they did the field work. So-
Exactly, and that, we're trying to do the same thing with just a bigger area, but I think we have to pick and choose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we already have to a degree, and I don't think it's every last mile of every ditch, but
No.
what Bruce just mentioned, we did it last year, I think it needs to get in the paper here sooner than later. Well, feel free to put it in this week's. Like Bruce mentioned, the farmers out there, if they see damage in and along dredge ditches, to please note that to the drainage clerk, because we can't get it noted soon enough, really.
Right.
Because whether it's someone calling it in and giving a location, or whether it's located by a drone, it still has to be documented. It's gotta go to the FEMA guy.
Yeah.
He's gotta go out and look at it and do his documentation. So we're kinda under the gun. We'd appreciate you, paper, running a little snippet of...
Well, if it don't rain like they put back in the forecast, 'cause I thought we were gonna get a decent week, that we might've had some people out scratching around this week, but
About Wednesday.
yeah.
all day.
I mean, that's a huge system right here.
11, that's a big one.
But...
That's one I think we need
Is
to
that the
look
one
at.
that, you said 11, is that the one that, or is that the one you want McClure to do, or is that the one that,
No, no,
Yeah.
that one's still, we're gonna have, it needs to be looked at, but we haven't assigned anybody.
anybody to do that yet?
Uh-huh.
So we know what we're getting with, Rick, do we need to ask him if he has the capability of doing it all?
Well, the problem
Or-
is, we get too much, you know, there's a time frame. I don't care who's doing it.
And also...
Okay, and that's what I wanted to know. I wanna know, are we doing what's best for the county, if we know what's one? That's all I'm trying to ask, that's what I'm trying to decide.
Right.
One thing nice about having two different people doing it, we get those done, we think, oh man, this one is so much nicer than the other one. Then I think we really should fly them all before we're all said and done, just so we have a video record of what the
So we can
ditches look
see
like.
which one is the best.
For any kind of future
How
problems.
often would you
Right.
have to do that?
And that's all I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, if you had them within 2 years
I
to
think-
3 years,
I think if you did it between events, like, if we don't have a major event for 10 years, we shouldn't have to do it for 10 years. You know,
but if you have documentation, because I guess that's what I'm asking for the FEMA guy, maybe we should talk to that gentleman that,
Phil?
Phil, and say,
Phil.
would FEMA go back, 2-year film would be
Good enough.
for FEMA's records as opposed to what it looks like today?
Mhm.
Or would it have to be every 4 years,
I don't
or
know what he would
we might
say.
at least throw that at him and get it?
Yeah. it'd be-
Maybe
Idea.
have Trish, 'cause isn't Trish in contact with him? Maybe Tricia
Mhm.
should ask,
Yeah.
Trish should ask that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we could bring her in there when we're done and just say, here, let's talk this through a little bit. and
Right, kind of.
Next week we can put it on the agenda and get it back to McClure and
Yeah.
see where we go.
Starting point,
That way that guy will
yeah.
be back from the, wherever he's
He's over.
off gallivanting around,
Yeah.
making us
Okay.
envious.
The, guy that put that on up there, he was talking about, money there is money out there. He said they moved the whole town out of the floodplain. Boy, could they take Bradgate and move it up on the hill?
Should've asked.
He said there was money out there to do
50 miles
that.
to the west or
Wow.
something.
Yeah.
And there was money to fix the dams.
Wow.
And, I got a call back from the DNR guy that was there, and he gave me phone numbers for the DNR for, dams. There's a chance that we could get money from that department to fix the gates at the dam. So, I'm gonna follow up on it a little bit.
That'd be a good follow-up.
Yeah, see if we can get the gates where they'll work, so we can at least open them up. If we get
Do
another
something.
high water like this, we can open them up a little bit.
Look, a lot of mad geese.
Yeah.
They like that new island.
Oh, I know.
After some of the silt goes away.
Right.
Jeez.
Okay,
That's a good
See
idea.
anything else coming for the board?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Carried.